you know what? I'm going to record this just so you guys have it for playback too. But yeah, so a little bit about what we do. So, I'm going to start with, DrDDS, right? And just kind of start from here for just a second, kind of talk about what we do and how we've gone about building the products that we have, right? So starts with a database of all the dentists in the United States. We build the integrations, as I mentioned. We help people anywhere in their life cycle. We've helped launch over 150 products. I used to do all the email marketing for Spear Education, and have helped a lot of people launch, like Paul Homily, Joanne Majors, and help them with their learning management and kind of taking them digital, as well as their strategic messaging. So like I said, we can help somebody like yourself. We've done some stuff with like Chrome and some of the similar companies that, whether it's a piece of custom software that they're interested in them, or integrations is kind of where most of them have used us. And then our list is obviously something that that's kind of our bread and butter. But we've built quite a few different products. Actually, I Love My Dentist is one of my trademark brands. So if you ever see one of those t-shirts out there, that's us. I run the Dental Innovation Show. We've built a lot of rewards platforms, reviews platforms, patient platforms. Our two kind of signature products right now is one-click referral. And one-click referral, literally if you Google dental referral software, we are the definition of dental referral software. And so that's always been kind of our
doctor to doctor, or is that
doctor to doctor?
Doctor to doctor. So
yeah.
Setting up a way in which general practitioners can refer patients over on some sort of a platform. Is that kind of what it is?
You got it. Yeah. Okay. The original product was called Record Link, and this is a product that we started in 2003 that was built for my brother-in-law, who is a orthodontist. And, obviously orthodontists don't rely on referrals like they used to, but it evolved from there. Now we've built quite a few different pieces of software around that. And so that's one-click. Verident is our electronic insurance verification. We were the first that Dentrix gave right back access into the schedule. And then we also, for products like yourself, our treatment sequencer, I need to change this banner, is all about case acceptance, workflows, streamlining follow-up, making sure the patient actually shows up, and treatment acceptance, case acceptance, as you know better than anybody, this is your sweet spot, it's really a series of referrals that goes back and forth, and then also a series of communications that goes to the patient. And so we've built this inside of Record Link today, but our plan was always to take it and really build it into what's that?
Hey, 1 second. Are you sharing your screen with us?
Oh my gosh, yes, I was.
We're not seeing.
We see us. My bad.
That's okay, because I kept waiting for something to pop up, and it just never.
Wow, I went through a lot, and
sorry, buddy. Yeah.
I started to share. It looks like it didn't share. So yeah, here we go. So anyway, I was talking about DrDDS, right? And you can take a look at DrDDS. You can see our different products up there, and then down at the bottom, obviously, integration is key to making any of these successful, right? So because of our relationships there. And then one-click referral is our referral product. Verident is electronic insurance, and then you can kind of take a look at these different products. I Love My Dentist is a word-of-mouth referral program. I built that with Dr. David Schwab, who's a speaker consultant, and that is a word-of-mouth. But one-click is something that could be used by somebody like yourself in your offices that you work with at Highbridge, or our treatment sequencer is definitely something to take a look at it. And this was partially inspired by Paul Homily, who is I'm a speaker, a dental speaker, and he's one of my coaches. And he always is talking about case acceptance. I'm sure, are you familiar with Paul Homily? You know the name?
I am, for probably 30 years, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I know everybody has a different feeling about him, but
he's a good guy, and he's evolved very nicely over the years.
Yeah, so when he went from being, kind of in the darkness to the light and coming out with the digital, I was the guy. He was sitting in my office right here when we hit the button to say launch launch your electronic LMS and the marketing program and all that type of stuff. So I was partially responsible for him now being a really extensive marketer, almost too much. So anyway, so you understand. So case acceptance, we can talk a little bit more about this. Keep in mind, everything that we do is also in the realm potentially of custom dental software, right? So my ideal, if you're familiar with like a WordPress, right? If you've ever built a website, you can either code a website from the beginning end to end, or you can use a platform like WordPress that already has all the basic information. And then what you do is you just plug a module into the top of it. That's how we've architected our product. So with all these different products that we have, there's actually a singular back end to be able to manage it, or we can take that entire platform, break it off, and give you your own source code, host it on your own server. Most people just kind of choose to keep it in one spot. So we've done everything from, integrations for large companies like Smile Brands, 450 locations, 4 to 5 offices, one-click referral.
Excuse me, you network, like, for example, you network EagleSoft amongst a network of other offices. Is that kind of how you're pulling them together?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So getting back to that integration, right? The key to this whole thing, and I was just explaining it to Evan here, dentists have their systems. We build the integration. We tie it into platforms that have different layers. I'm not going to get too technical, but we basically build it into what's called an API. And in that API, we can build software on top of that super quickly. So, again, I don't want to go too deep into it, but we've got 3 projects that we're working on right now. One is a dashboard that we're building for a company called Graphics. This is kind of like a dental intel type solution that we're building for them. And this sits in our user interface. And then we're also building a patient application for Chris Kammer, who is the founder of AOSH, the Oral Systemic Health Association. So this is a patient product, a patient-facing scheduling tool for his drillist practice. And then we have our database product that we're currently kind of working on. So, the sky's the limit. What we do is we start with a base product, or, we already have the platform built. So you tell me. I mean, the main focus, I think when Joanne set this meeting up, she felt like One-Click was a product that could work really well with your customers that you work with, and managing the referral process and managing the communication that happens back and forth during that process. But after researching you a little bit more, you got the spirit. You got more of the spirit of like, hey, I want to build something with this guy. And, that's where I think the Chrome Guided Smile contacted me about 2 years ago, and they were wanting to build something in this tool, the case acceptance treatment planning tool. It ended up not going anywhere. They kind of fell apart as far as an organization. They had different things going on, but I always thought that this would be a great product for a company like you. And
show me a little bit of what the bones of that looks like, just so I can have kind of more of a visual.
Sure. Yep. And so originally when we started building, you'll see, let me show you a couple things too, so you understand it, right? So this is the One-Click Referral product. And this is a product that we built 2 years ago. You can kind of tell the evolution of our products based on the look and feel of the product, right? The user interface. This is where, they can assign a coordinator. It's basically like a patient relationship management system for specialists, right? It's a referral management system. And I logged out because I hadn't been on that screen for a while, but it makes it easy for general dentists to refer over. I'm showing you this in part because it kind of gives you a sense of user interface, right? So they assign a coordinator, they walk them through the process of, hey, I left a voicemail with the patient, that's scheduled, and then you go back and notify the referring office, or you can download the referral form and import it into your system. when they send it over, they click on a send referral button. It's a really easy referral form. Same thing with the send order. We're working with Keating Dental Labs and Burbank Dental Labs and Van Hook dental labs to integrate in, because they all use Magic Touch. We've integrated in with Magic Touch as the lab management system.
Is that a lab? Yeah, that's a lab management software.
Yep.
Magic Touch. Okay.
So we integrate with lab management systems, we integrate with practice management systems, and we bridge them all together. So it's kind of like, you know, all the different products we have. Then we've got an insurance product called Verident. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but the one thing that I wanted to show you about Verident is, you know, this is a little bit newer interface for us, and it's just kind of a little clean interface. All this stuff kind of sits on the same back-end platform. So we only have to support one set of servers, and we get all of these products on the front end. So I'm showing you that in part because my oldest user interface is the one that I'm going to show you for the most part here. So this is Record Lake, right? This product was built about 5 to 7 years ago, and it's really not used as much anymore. So we haven't invested in the interface. But the back end, what we did is we broke this system apart into sub-modules like OneClick and Verident and the others. And the treatment planning piece is very simple, right? It could be, and this could be a completely standalone product. So imagine you log into the system and all you see are your list of treatment plans that you're working on, you know, just like you saw in the OneClick product. This would be the ability to set up a plan and obviously it's integrated in with the practice management system. So this actually could automatically pull a treatment plan out of Dentrix, bring it into a web interface that then would allow you to be able to send and communicate back and forth and step it through the process, right? You know, just like with our referral form itself, you can also use it. We could put a tooth chart in there. You know, so when they select the patient, they select a procedure, they could put a tooth chart in here. We allow for large files to be uploaded. So really unlimited file size in the attachments, and then they would hit send. So this product can take elements from all the other products that we built, including text messaging, email notifications, all kinds of different things, and build it into a very easily build it into a system that is specifically around what your verbiage is, what your protocols are, what you call things. And then we can integrate it in with your lab. We can integrate it in with the dentist systems that you use as far as your customers as well.
Gotcha. So from a clinical standpoint, who has been helpful for you in building out the treatment sequence software? Was that Paul?
You know, Paul started working on it with us, and then Paul just kind of was focused on other things. He was moving at the time. I've actually thought about reaching back out to Paul, but he, you know, part of it is we started focusing heavily on this product, and we kind of go where, I mean, I hate to say it, it's the same thing with just about any business. We go where the money is, right? And so there was not much money in that at the time. And so until I have somebody that has enthusiasm to move something forward and potentially money to invest in it, that's when we start focusing on it, right? So OneClick Referral, 2 years ago, the enthusiasm came from a guy named Dr. Brent Boyce. And Brent Boyce is considered to be one of the top oral surgeons in the world. He's one of the speakers and key opinion leaders for Zimmer and for Chrome. And you know, he's got 5 practices, 700 referring offices. He actually put $500,000 into my company, invested in us. And we built OneClick around him and around his, you know, what his requests were. And so this would be something that we would, you know, white label, so to speak, or build it around you. We already have we spent over $1 million building our platform, so we can use the existing infrastructure that we've got to then build it out and make it specific to you. And then at some point, if necessary, we can break it off, and you know, you can take the code and things like that. But most people, at least for a while, choose to have us host their stuff inside of our platform.
Can I ask you a couple questions and just try to get some reference? So Joanne might have told you that we have a fairly large implant practice in Rochester, New York, and that really is that's my clinical side.
Yeah.
We also have Highbridge, which is a combination of dental laboratory manufacturing, education, and marketing. So that's a separate business, but our practice is the biggest customer of the Highbridge business.
Makes sense.
So we have, let's call it anywhere between 50 close partners and maybe 200 actually customers total. But our closer partners, we call them brand licensees for Highbridge, and they're basically we focus on their full arch practice. So we're helping them develop a full arch practice. All right, so that's kind of that. So as I look at all of the things that you've done, I have a couple questions. One is, from a clinical standpoint, I am very much, so I'm a prosthodontist, and I'm very process driven.
Yeah.
With treatment plans, especially more complex treatment plans where there might be 8 or 10 different appointments, and there's in every case could be somewhat of a different sequence. So I'm very focused on treatment sequencing and treatment estimating, and I've spent a fair amount of time creating algorithms for my own use as to how to do decision trees on all of those things, with the idea that we build out a piece of software that does it for us. We currently are so good at it in my own office that I can go through the decision tree, and in about 5 minutes, my treatment coordinator can come up with it without using software. So my idea for doing software on it was not necessarily for our practice, but for our partners.
Yeah.
Because
They need that.
They don't have that. They don't have the ability to rail off the treatment sequence and a treatment estimate in 5 or 10 minutes. So I guess the real question has been for me is there a market for it? Are there people that would actually, in a busy day, would they actually use it? Number one, which probably you've asked yourself the same question.
Yep.
And number two is if they used it, would it be out there floating on its own, or as you've said, you have Dentrix and EagleSoft, and would it be part of those? Because I'm assuming you pretty much cover 80% of the software world, don't you?
We do. Yeah. What do you use for your practice management system?
We're EagleSoft.
EagleSoft. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So my little basic software that I created, I'll tell you a story. I actually 5 years ago, maybe, we worked with this Indian software company, and it was just a complete shit show. But they did actually make us something, and it kind of works. But I mean, the concept is definitely there.
Yeah.
You go through and you answer, let's say you answer 8 or 10 different sort of fields, and then what it gives you is an estimate, basically the estimate in a very basic patient-facing way, and it also gives you a second document, which is the treatment sequence, which is how many units of time, what's the procedure, how many weeks between that procedure and the next procedure. Sounds like you and I are kind of coincidentally have been like working on a similar thing.
Yeah.
But I guess that at the end of the day, I don't personally feel like I need it because we're so good at it. I guess the question is does the marketplace want that product? And I don't really know. Of my 50 practices that we have close relationships with,
I never really answered the question. I kind of veered off of that project because we had so many other things going on.
Yeah.
That it didn't rank highly in the was it a real important project for us to continue to work on.
Yeah.
I guess the question is it something, are you looking to build something for us? We pay you now.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. I'm going to put you on my headset here. 1 second.
You know what? My microphone is kind of weak, so hang on. Let me put a little headset on myself, and maybe
Okay.
I'm sure you can hear me garbled here.
Yeah, no, Karen, what was the question? I can hear you better.
Just gonna speak into this one. You can have one and I'll have one.
Here, I'll let you speak. Give me this one.
So I guess my question is this something you would build for us? We pay you for it. You then give it to us, and then this is something an added value to our doctors, or is it something you build and you want to sell to everybody?
We could do, I've done all of the above. So, we kind of go into it with an agreement on where you want to be. We put projects into buckets, right? Small, medium, and large, and what I always tell people is let's start with the small, right? And then see how that goes, and build kind of what we call a minimum viable product. And I have a whole presentation. I'll spare you the details on, it's kind of like when you build a house is what I equate it to. Like, hey, build me a house. It's like, okay, then they build you a skyscraper where really you just wanted like a 1-bedroom house, right? I mean, so big part of it is like starting small. Normally we start with a $5,000 project, right? We scope it out. We say, okay, what does this all look like? Let's work on this together. Does it make sense? Let's start socializing it, and let's do what's called we do a customer discovery process, which is what answers your question, Frank, on the viability of a product.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very standard process that we go through called customer discovery, where you have a hypothesis, you socialize it, interview people, get their feedback, and then you kind of just go through this loop, right? And then hopefully you refine it. Yours is a little different though, because you already have a process, and so I don't think it's worth investing $500,000 to build a piece of software. So to answer your question, Karen, I don't think it's like start from scratch and build the whole thing. I think this is a perfect kind of like, let's partner together and build a module and do a revenue share on top of what we've got to build it versus, and I'll share the cost of the development with you versus like, and then maybe at some point we just say, okay, let's sell this, or you guys take it, and we kind of have an agreed upon benchmark when we get to that point, right? So I've taken equity in companies, foregoing development cost. I've taken, honestly, just about every flavor you could imagine. But for the most part, we at least like to see at least, $15,000 is kind of about the minimum cost. And I think for $15,000, well, you saw that Dentographics product. That's so far $10,000 in, and they've already got a complete product that they can pretty much now take to market. So it's, I don't think it's going to take much because we've already got all the framework built. I think it's just kind of some lipstick on a pig is what we need to do. And then what I've learned in doing this as long as I have, and I've launched a lot of these products and helped a lot of people, is it's less about the actual product. It's more about the education, and can we educate the dentist on making that change, right?
You're right. They've got to make sure that. Actually, you can hear me okay.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you can hear me, right?
I can hear you great. Yep.
It's got to be obviously something that an office would be, because we could build out the perfect little software package that works fantastic, and trust me, these guys need it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's,
Do they know they need
would
it?
they learn how to use it and integrate it in the course of a day, in the course of a treatment coordinator who's putting together a $30,000 treatment plan?
Yeah.
So that is always, that project for me was a big idea for me that never actually, so to some degree, it'd be nice if it was out in the marketplace, because I think it's needed, but it's not really super high on my to-do list right now, unless you said, No, I think we can do something together.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then the other thing I was going to ask you.
Sorry, it's so loud. Okay.
Okay. The other thing that I was going to ask you was so we have the laboratory, and our laboratory is full arch specific, and we're kind of in limbo right now between hard copy lab prescriptions, and I don't know what percentage, and also we do, like, my office integrates with the lab strictly online with an online RX where we share photos and whatever. But
Perfect.
we're kind of like bastardizing the whole process. And on top of that, we want to be able to have a platform at the laboratory where offices can share CT scans and images, and really not Dropboxing. Like right now, we're kind of in between Dropboxing a lot of stuff, which is stupid. And then also, we just purchased a new lab management software for the lab, which, if you ask me what it is, I can't tell you right now because I can't remember.
I can't think of the name.
We use LabTrack. Actually, that was the one we left.
Yeah, we're leaving that one.
And
Lab
unfortunately,
Star is another decent one.
I think we could probably text and get a quick answer.
Text it to me.
Let me just take a second now.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's to help cases go through the lab and then create what the inventory from, whatever's being used. You can pull the inventory. It's a time clock, but we're trying to get it to.
Most of them know who I am because we obviously have one-click labs. And so we've had those discussions. We can integrate in with any system. Typically what happens there is it's by request of a customer like you, right? Yeah. So the reason why we integrated with Magic Touch, and Magic Touch is the premium lab management. They're the ones that the big dogs use. I mean, Glidewell built their own, but they used to use Magic Touch, and then Keating, Burbank, some of the bigger ones that are out there that have thousands of customers use Magic Touch. Same process though. So we've already built it. We can easily integrate with another system, and most of them know us, know who we are. So
I think honestly, I think that is our probably our big connection, thing that maybe we're meant to chat because of this need for us. Yeah, we are, like I said, we're gonna go live September 1st with the new lab management system, and one of the big things is how do we create? It's called.
I think it's Evolution.
ABS Evolution, is that right?
ABS Evolution.
I'm pretty sure it's Evolution, but.
Okay, so I mean. Frank, I'm one of those people that I hate to look back in my life and say I started that and never finished it. So, let's start with one thing. Let's get that thing completely finished. And then, Atlanta-based systems. Yeah, I know those guys very well. Atlanta. Okay. Yeah, okay. They've got a new web-based product that's a little better. They have a really old, archaic one as well. So, yeah, I'm sure you're moving to the newer one. Really nice people though.
So that lab management software is, so if you were to say what you could do for us as it relates to our trying to create this hybrid platform of sharing and whatever, can you make that experience better for our network?
Let me show you. Let me show you what we have, and then I will share my screen now.
You're good with this technology stuff.
Note to self. Yeah, I do run a software company, and so
I can tell.
I would hope so, right? Yeah.
You made a dentist mistake. It's funny.
Yeah, right. All right. So when we're in our system, you can send an order, you can send a referral. When you send an order, it looks like this, right? And I'm just going to use Keating as an example. So basically, when we integrate in with the dental practice management systems, and by the way, this can look and feel however you want to. Just think of this as function, not how it looks, right?
Actually, who is seeing this screen? Is this the dentist referring
the dentist? Yeah, they're sending you a lab, right? And so they either hit the button, or we can inside of Dentrix, we have something called the Dentrix button. where you can actually do it from right inside actual Dentrix itself. So we can talk about that later. But so basically you select the patient, right? And these are the patients that are currently sitting in your office right now. You hit continue. In this case, I'm going to select a different lab because you can't send it yourself. Select the patient. You select the service that you're sending them over for. Let's just say removable. And this is all configurable, right? We just kind of set up whatever your procedures are, whatever your sub-service is, number of jaws. Think of this as a kind of just a sample of what it might look like. If you need a tooth chart, you can do that. If you want to upload multiple models, you can do that. And these are all questions that we set up for you, right? And a lot of,
This would all be filled out, obviously, in the operatory by the assistant or the doctor as they're trying to get this case out.
All we're doing is taking your form, your order form, and making it electronic.
Right. So they're going into our system and doing this because if they're not in
their system, they can do it from right inside of Dentrix, right? This is actually sending it over to your system. And I've had conversations with Atlanta about integrating in, so I have no doubt that they want to integrate with us.
But if they're not a company, like they're not EagleSoft or Dentrix or something else, it's still okay. It's still going to talk to our system.
You'll still get a PDF like you would a piece of paper of an order, right? It's almost like the same thing, but it's all done electronically. And then because of our integration, the key to this whole thing is, in your case, let's just say you're sending it to your lab, right? You're inside of EagleSoft or in our user interface. We pull the patients out of EagleSoft into that little widget I just showed you, and then you select the patient, so you don't have to fill out any information about the patient. And then it kind of can help with
And if we had a tablet, would the interface be easier to work with? If we had
I mean, again, we can create any kind of interface you want, and so in this case,
not all use tablets. Though.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that from a doctor's standpoint, just my own. When I'm ready to send out a case, I don't want to be on a computer. I want to be on my tablet, and I want to be in the lab. Like I want to be able to move around with it a little bit. It just makes it easier.
Yeah. One of the features that we're doing right now is because people still want to do it the old way, right? And we want to get people to the new way, but there's a step in between. And so we're building an app that sits on a phone or a tablet where you can fill out the order form in a piece of paper and then just take a picture of it. And because we know who has that app on their phone, it just automatically uploads it into the order management system here. So there's another route. But so the goal here is to free up the time of the phones, right? And not to have the lab need to call the office. So right when that order is sent over, it immediately engages them in a chat, for the order, and then you can attach additional files in here and things like that. The sky is the limit. If you want to just download the order form, you just go there and, download it, and you have it as, still a PDF or whatever.
So instead of a phone ringing, because somebody's going to pick it up, if something comes over, it alerts you with a sound or
correct. Yeah. So notifications come over via text, via email, and also in the Chrome browser. So we have actually an extension here. So if they wanted to send a referral or send an order, we can add an order right there. When they receive one, again, the goal is speed, right? Speed of follow-up, because we know you get that person for that second or those 10 seconds when they're interested in this, and then they move on to the next thing, right? So we immediately notify them. They jump in here. They start collaborating if they need to. And also we integrate with insurance companies, so we know the insurance benefits for each procedure. In fact, Delta.
So here's what I think. I think that September 1st, when we go live with ABS, we're gonna get a chance to actually, our office in particular will get a chance to actually use that and see what the doctor experience is, play with it a little bit. And then I think what I'd like to do maybe get Kim McAreevy, who is she really is our, she's a VP of education, but she basically integrates all the offices. And this is her project, actually, really, is to make sure that we have a platform for sharing data and case files that is better than what we're doing right now. And maybe we'll do a follow-up in about 2 weeks or so once we're up and running, and then we can actually see how we can apply that.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. And you know, so in your prosthodontic practice though, you know, we also want to work with you to help increase the referrals and get you new sources. So we just rolled out One Click. I don't know if you know Caroline Barsoom, but they're one of the bigger offices in New York City. They are rolling out One Click all over New York City for their 6 doctors and 4 locations.
What kind of office is it exactly?
They're Prost as well.
Oh, there. Okay.
Yeah, Gary Morris and I have been talking about rolling it out in Chicago for him for a long time. I don't know if you know Gary. He's a speaker. Pretty well known prosthodontic speaker.
So this office is going to use this as a patient facing or as a office doctor referral.
Yeah, so they're going to use One Click. So all their doctors will be able to select the patient, select the procedure that they're referring over for, attach files, and send the referral.
Interesting. So, yeah, I think that's a great. I mean, it's a really great product. I guess the question is if you had, let's just say you had 30 referring offices that routinely referred to, could you get all 30 of them up and running with this where it was an easy thing for their office to use?
Yeah. Well, that's the whole point. That's why we've got the button. That's why we've got, it's super simple, right? And then we have the education. That's where Joanne comes in. She educates them on the why they should be using this. And obviously with COVID, it's a great time because nobody wants to be handed a piece of paper right now, right?
Yeah,
so
seemingly, So I think, and then this referral would just come right to the patient coordinator. I'm assuming, and then
exactly.
And then at that point, maybe the coordinator, contacts the patient, gets things going.
You got it. Yep. And we also have a mobile app where if the coordinator is out in the field, they can get notified immediately as well and reach out to the patient. So the others.
Yeah. Good. You know what? I think that's obviously, that's a really nice product. Might be something.
With your office, do you get any referrals from other GPs?
Yeah. Because we probably routinely get referrals from maybe 15 or 20 offices. Okay. But again, the doctors that refer to us are so, some of them are a little in the, they're not necessarily, old. They're just technology, like not savvy. Yeah. So, I'm trying to imagine of those that we have, how many practices would do what they got to do to make it easy.
Yeah,
I understand. Hey, it's
we kind of gave up the referral business back when we started Highbridge because we market to consumer and so that's
no change. That's that's dentist practice. Yeah, it's actually my most liked or my most hated, but my most viewed video of me speaking is my no change speech about we actually evaluated dentists and their personalities and found their personality types are just not made for change, which is what you want in a dentist. And Karen understands this maybe better than anybody, right, Karen?
Well, there's
too many of them.
There's a lot of truth to that. I mean, there's just it's a funny profession, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah, I love it for that reason. It is predictable, though. At least you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah, you're swimming upstream constantly with what you do.
Yeah.
Well, we've learned that many dentists are not business people.
That's true too. That's why we have those analytics platforms and things that we build. So next step. So you're gonna roll out Atlanta-based systems for your lab management system. We'll get in touch with Kim in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got Karen's info, but I'd like to make sure that we don't drop the ball there because I really think that this is an important thing for us to build out in a more in a more specialized way with, I mean, I think our customers through Highbridge expect us to have a really easy system to work with. So I think that's a very worthwhile endeavor.
Talking about the market, by the way, of the treatment planning, there are a couple that are out there. The one that comes to mind is Zoob. We actually built their integration, Dentrix, EagleSoft, Open Dental. So there are a few out there, which I actually prefer. Being the first to launch the electronic referral was extremely expensive and difficult. I prefer to come in second into the market and just do it a little bit better. So if we can take a look at what they've built, analyze it, figure out how we can improve upon it, that's a really good route to go. Take your process, your procedures, the way you do things, the way you talk about things, fine tune that, make it all electronic. I mean, I'm very interested in working with you on it. I think there is to answer your question, from what I've talked to people, a huge opportunity. I talked to the guys at Dentrix, Henry Schein, last year, and I said, what are the biggest things that you think are the opportunities for your clients? And they actually said online treatment planning. That was the first thing that they said. And and we do everything from, small projects to big ones, right? So Dentographics, as I mentioned, that's going to be a $15K project. The Victorious Dental, that's a $5,000 project. And then, one-click referral was a $350,000 project. So,
good for you.
We've got everything, big, medium, small, and a really good way to track it. So the one thing that I found in doing this is just starting it and starting the process. Even if we say, hey, it's going to be like, I'm going to put $2,000 a month in doing this, at least we've got the ball rolling, even if it's rolling slowly along. And then we could take it starts with designing the interface of how it looks and how you kind of want to. So we'll get the basic layout of how you imagine it looking. And then once you get the visual on it, it's a lot easier to then the programmers take over and they build the back end, which is, stuff that you don't necessarily see. But, typically it's about a 400-hour project is kind of what it takes to build a piece of software, 200 in the design phase. You're probably going to cut that in half because you already kind of know exactly what you want. But when it's a new project,
we already put the 200 hours in.
You already put the 200 hours in. And these guys are, most of my guys are in India, right? Fortunately or unfortunately, like they're a lot less expensive, right? And
so is that how you do it?
Oh, you might know our guy.
Yeah, they may, right? Well, we do it in India, but we have kind of a hybrid model where we've got guys here. But my guys are so deep in it at this point. They've been doing it for 10 years that it doesn't take much for us to build it. So I would say, if you can equate, let's just say $5,000 for probably 2 or 3 months, and we could have the whole product built and have it something that you could be proud of and put your name on it, right?
You're talking about the lab management.
I'm talking about really
the
treatment, but I actually think it's I think actually what you need is somewhere in between the three pieces that we have, right? Because you need referrals, lab, and treatment plan. Or maybe what we do is we just take one click that already has the lab piece and the referral piece in it, and we just add a component that is just your process, after the fact, right? And so it's actually just an add-on to one click, or it's an add-on to something that we already have, which is obviously, a nice route to go where you can kind of have like a plug-in to an existing system versus having to rebuild the whole thing.
Okay.
Put your name
You're a good
on it.
whiteboarder. You'll be able to show them it all.
Yeah.
So I definitely, actually the other thing is this Kim McReevy, who now is our VP over at Highbridge. She actually was my treatment coordinator, and she can treatment sequence and treatment plan with her eyes closed. So she's got a really interesting background for this, and she'll be a very important part of trying to figure out exactly what we do and how we do it.
And how do you spell her? Is she on the Highbridge website, or how do I?
She's MC capital A Every. Arevi. AEREVY.
Yeah, I'll have Karen, because Karen works side by side with Kim.
Yeah,
I'll have Kim
I'll set up an intro and then we'll set a date in a couple of weeks to,
Okay.
I'll get back together.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Probably a Friday. Seems
Yeah.
to be the best date.
You wanna put that, open up our calendars and put it on the calendar? Should we do it for,
I know on Friday the 18th, I have you got something in Rochester in the morning, so I think we'll be in town.
so,
Why don't we set up
we-
September 18th, because we'll have a couple of weeks working with the new
okay.
lab system. Why don't you want to do 1 o'clock again, our time?
Sure. Yeah, I'll just update this for this meeting for the 18th
Yeah.
then.
Okay, great. And I'll forward to
Wait.
Kim and invite her.
Okay, perfect. Well, hey, really nice meeting both of you,
Yeah, you
and
too.
good luck with the implementation of Atlanta. And yeah,
Thanks,
I'll reach
Travis.
back out to them and just kind of let them know, if you don't mind. I'll kind of mention that you and I have been talking, and that
Perfect.
we want to potentially integrate this in. That way, we can, because sometimes those things, the initial kind of buy-in takes a few, at least a month or two to get it going. So we'll get ahead of it before that. So
Sounds great.
perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Perfect, Travis.
All right, thanks.
Enjoy
All
the
right.
weekend,
Meeting
bud.
Talk
See
to
ya.
you soon.
Okay.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.